guess what?
What?
Got a new rule, no helmet cam.
What?
Yep,
Could you let me slide just this one time?
I can.
Son of a... We are back with the world famous 2019 Carrera GTS that was the subject of a very popular YouTube video we made. That car had been abused by a previous shop. We nursed it back to health, but now it has a new problem. The customer is reporting vibration under braking, but only after a very spirited mountain drive. Very spirited mountain drive is not something I'm comfortable doing with a customer car on public roads. Luckily, we have a solution, and that is Atlanta Motorsports Park, which is a very tight and twisty road course here in Dawsonville, Georgia. I have had this car on this track once before, but I was driving it very gently. This time, I need to drive it hard, which I'm about to do. So they happen to be having a Corvette day out here, so it's a combination of car show and hot lapping with Corvettes. At heart, I am a Corvette guy, and so is Jack. But today we're representing Team Porsche, so we gotta represent. If we see any Corvettes out on track while I'm in the GTS, we're gonna have to show them what's up. All set?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have fun.
Thank you. ABS engagement, I feel that. But we probably need a few laps to really get the brakes hot. Michelin 4S tires, great street tire, capable of track days, but you can overheat them. If you want a real track day tire from Michelin, you go to the Cup 2s or even the Cup 2Rs. It's like a mountain rally, but the lane is 3 lanes wide. There's no oncoming traffic. People point you by if you're faster. No speed limits. You still have to be careful. Oh, there's a little something. What's that? Yep, no, I got it. It's happening. Yep, sure enough. Yeah, I'm getting some vibration through the pedal. It's not as bad as I've experienced on my Corvette, but it's definitely there. Oh, I smell them. Smell that, Jack?
Yeah.
What do you think that is?
Brakes?
That is melted brakes. You're not supposed to get that smell from a Porsche after it's done, what I do, 6 laps or something like that?
Not that many.
Now, they were good hard laps, Jack. I did a 134, and I did start to feel it at the end. I still wasn't 1,000% convinced until I stopped and I could smell them so bad. So what we found was the previous shop, these brakes have been replaced recently, and the previous shop installed like an aftermarket pad that's like half the price of the factory pad. I think that's our culprit. It just can't hold up to that kind of driving for an extended period of time. It was not as pronounced as what I experienced in my car, in my Corvette when I had it, but it was noticeable, and it couldn't perform quite like we wanted. But from a performance standpoint, it's being held back by the tires. Like you hear ABS engaging and squealing going into turn one. Yep. So the car is actually really impressive. You know, I don't know that any of the Corvettes that were out there were really being able to like put in max capability of the car, but you know, this thing was hanging with Z06s okay, which is impressive considering it's more of a touring car, you know, with like sporting ambitions. I was hoping for something more definitive, but I would say, you know, the telltale odor tells us that the pads are not up to the challenge. They have smeared onto the rotors, and that creates like uneven pad deposits that you then feel through the pedal when the rotors get hot. And these rotors are so good at dissipating heat that it takes a lot of work to get them hot, but once they do get hot, you start to feel it. So I think pads at minimum, probably rotors, unfortunately, because it's really hard to clean off these rotors, but that's gonna be up to the customer. And then I think we're gonna be good to go.